What movie deserved a sequel but didn't get it? Spaceballs 2: The Search for More Money. Spaceballs 3: The Search for Spaceballs 2: The Search for More Money. Dredd, District 9, Constantine, Tron Legacy. One was planned, kept getting pushed back and rewritten. Last thing I remember, Bruce Boxleitner got so annoyed by all the delays that he quit the franchise. Me and a dozen desperate souls are still hoping to this day. Disney killed it because Tomorrowland flopped. Disney is completely out on sci-fi now if it isn't related to Star Wars. I'm still waiting for History of the World Part 2. Megamind period. Push. After 10 years I still think it was a good, or at least very decent, movie. Definitely not a 6-1 score movie. With a good setting. Better of what X-Men became after a few years. Also try Jumper, the movie, not a sweater. The Man from UNCLE. Edge of Tomorrow. District 9, Dredd. Honestly, while I enjoyed Dredd a lot, I suppose we are talking about the 2012 film, not the 1995 one. Right, I think a potential sequel was about to ruin everything good done with the first one. Dredd was made with a relatively small budget. Filmed in South Africa with a lot of green screen. It just worked because it was set mostly in a giant building, where the production had the chance to use a lot of green screen and interior sets. Obviously it also worked well because of its good script and extreme graphic violence. Usually sequels have a go big or go home approach that I don't think these producers can afford. Showing more city, more technology, etc. Unless they repeat what they have done with the first movie, which would make the sequel a more of the same. But agreed on District 9. I'm still waiting for it. But hey, at least we got Chappie, so good for us. Right. Chappie was good. But District 9, that was an entirely different beast. Altogether, that was an entirely different beast. A little airplane reference there for y'all. I loved Carl Urban's take on Dredd and the cinematography was amazing. Chronicle! Exclamation mark. Disagree, I was happy it was a single film, monsieur. I think it is too easy to fuck up with a sequel. John Carter. The movie was far better than one would think based on how it performed. And the entire series it's based on is great. It was a great movie, but the marketing people had no idea what to do with it. Hey there, I just woke up from being in a coma the past 20 years. The last movie I saw was Fast and the Furious. Boy, I'd sure like to see them make another one of those. Unfortunately, they didn't. I really loved Solo, A Star Wars Story. I think it gets a bad reputation because people thought it was unnecessary and it's very different from other Star Wars movies. That movie was way better than the idea of that movie. It felt like the old Marvel comics, which is a win for me. Kung Pao Enter the Fist. Yes, I want Kung Pao 2, Tongue of Fury. The Fifth Element. Mad Max Fury Road. I honestly never really got the praise for that movie. Don't get me wrong, it's more than watchable, but I just didn't get the fuss. What did you like so much about it? It's visually beautiful in a terrifying way, and it crams so much anxiety and thrills in what is really a threadbare plot. Plus it's a pretty punk rock film. Road Warrior is definitely the best Mad Max film anyways. I do appreciate this has fuck all to do with your question, and I had nothing to do with it, so I will now see myself out. Master and Commander, Far Side of the World. The sequel is called Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. I am number 4. Have you checked out **? I've done a number 2, **. As much as I love the books, the movie sucked by comparison. I wish they'd remake it to be worthy of the original series. Rise of the Guardians, a prequel. I honestly don't care what happens after that movie. The character backstories were barely touched and are much more interesting than the actual story. I heard that many people who were involved with the film hated the final product. And I can see why. The plot was a mess. Yes, that movie was amazing. The A-Team, 2010. A movie for Buster Scruggs. I liked World War Z, but it seems I'm the only one. If it had any other name it would be a pretty good flick. As a book adaptation it's the worst ever. It used the name of the book and absolutely nothing else. You should read the book. I know the other comments mention it, that it is way better. If they did a miniseries that actually followed the source material it would be amazing. Coraline, I loved the ending but it easily could have and deserves a sequel. There really isn't a way to continue the story, though. Just let her be happy. I don't think she needs another traumatic experience. Jumper. There is one scene in Jumper where Griffin, Jamie Bell, is providing exposition in a Geordie accent whilst playing a video game and not looking at the camera or the main character. This is the closest I will get to seeing myself on screen. I think there's a TV show sequel called Impulse that's free on YouTube. I am still waiting for Shrek 5. 5HREK. Galaxy Quest Rip Alan Rickman. The Golden Compass. Check out the BBC HBO version. The first series covering the Northern Lights, aka Golden Compass, is good. Apparently the second series, Subtle Knife, is mostly filmed, so hopefully won't be too delayed by the current unpleasantness. Matilda the Professional. The Matrix. I'm not aware of any sequels called Reloaded or Revolutions. Galaxy Quest. Man of Steel. It was a flawed movie but there was some of the best Superman moments we've seen. The action was incredible. The sequel could have been amazing. It had one, Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice as a direct sequel to that movie unless we're pretending it didn't happen. I think it's best if we pretend the entire DCEU never happened, except Shazam. Treasure Planet. No, that movie ends perfectly. The scene where it zooms into the spaceport blew my mind as a kid. You see what you think is the moon in the window. But, no, that's a huge damn spaceport. Basketball. Tomorrow When the War Began. Spirited Away. Such a beautifully animated movie with a wonderful story. But I have to admit, I don't know what plot they could dream up to justify it. I just want to see a grown Chihiro hang out with Haku, who has hopefully found his way back to his river. The river was cemented over. It's an apartment block now. His river only exists in the spirit world now. Damn it, I completely forgot about that. Time for a rewatch. See, I disagree with this. Spirited Away is a 100% flawless movie, and it's one of a very few movies that I would call perfect. Why bring in a sequel that could potentially make the first movie look worse? I mean, I doubt that would happen. But why risk it? That's a good point. For me though, when I get to the end I still long for a few more minutes of the film to go on even though it's truly wrapped up nicely. Like I said before, even though I want a sequel I have no idea how they could justify it anyway. It'll never happen though. Hayao Miyazaki is retiring. If I'm not mistaken. Waterworld. Limitless. It was refreshingly good and thoroughly enjoyable. Megamind. Dark Crystal. It was overshadowed by E.T. At least we got an awesome series almost 40 years later. Almost the right answer. Age of Resistance needs a second season. Get off your ass, Netflix. Agreed. Rock'n'Rolla. The real Rock'n'Rolla wasn't the reason that didn't get made is because most of the actors became huge stars and they couldn't afford them. Dread. Tron Legacy. I heard an animated series is being made, though that information might be a bit outdated. Are you referring to Tron Uprising? They completed one season and it's pure art. It was deliberately killed though, putting the episodes at irregular intervals and at night. My personal theory is that Star Wars Rebels was in production and Tron had to go. The plots of the first seasons have huge parallels. If there was something new on the horizon though, that would be amazing. Maybe Disney Plus greenlights a revival? They brought Clone Wars back, so I don't know. The Adventures of Tintin movie from 2011 was a good movie, but they did not even finish the plot of searching for Red Rackham's treasure. Yes, having grown up with the comics as a kid, I loved this movie so much. I would love another. Almost 10 years later, it's still some of the best CGI I have seen. Ender's Game. The original book had several sequels but not the movie. Have you actually read the sequels? Though, they're basically bad Tom Clancy books. I'd kill for an Ender's Shadow movie. I read that book before Ender's Game and liked Bean's version of events better. I loved Speaker for the Dead, but it wouldn't work as a movie. Buckaroo Banzai, still waiting. Fincher's Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Titanic 2, The Revenge Inception. Kinda feel like a sequel would kinda ruin the ending of Inception. Not if Leo doesn't appear in the sequel. Small Soldiers. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai. There was a sequel planned, but it got bogged down in disputes over rights. The Last Starfighter. Old school, nice. Super Mario Bros. 1993. Prometheus. The movie was so intriguing and at times dark. It had a great potential for a sequel. So we're just retconning Alien Covenant then. Shish. Let them have hope that a good sequel is possible. Running Scared. 1986 buddy cop movie with Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines. They had amazing chemistry and I thought the movie was a moderate success but no sequel. The Iron Giant. That movie had an awesome storyline and cast, plus a cliffhanger ending and, most importantly, an expandable framework for more adventures. Wall-E. Threat Level Midnight. Alita Battle Angel, and perhaps Repo the generic opera, but I may be alone in this lol. Didn't Alita Battle Angel come out last year? I don't think enough time has passed to say, oh, it never got a sequel. I enjoyed the A-Team and would have liked a second one. King Arthur Legend of the Sword. In my opinion this movie kicked ass, and it is a shame that there won't be a sequel. Incredibly underrated. I still will want to see all the Jump Street sequels teases at the end of 22 Jump Street. The Nice Guys with Ryan Gosling and Russell Crowe. Man from U.N.C.L.E. Ready Player One. The 2015 movie Spy. Interstellar. I wonder when it would be placed. Inside Out. The Recruit 2003. That movie and Enemy of the State basically ushered in the post-Tom Clancy spy series movie. Genre. Internal Affairs. Homeland. Jack Ryan. Hey. The post-Tom Clancy version. The Looming Tower. Even Narcos to an extent. Mrs. Doubtfire. Actually, a sequel was in the works, but other extenuating circumstances have prohibited it from coming to, despite being a bit pants. The most recent Tomb Raider film set up a sequel that would have been really cool. Not sure if it was in the works or scrapped due to the poor performance of the film Monsieur. Warner Bros. Confirmed release date of March 19, 2021 for the sequel. Obviously see if that date holds with seemingly everything getting pushed back. I just hope in the sequel there is more actual raiding of tombs in a movie called Tomb Raider. The first one lacked that. Master and Commander, Far Side of the World. Megamind. I don't like how they handled those Matrix sequels or Land Before Time. The Wisdom of Friends. How about Kung Pao? Enter the Fist. Steve Odenkirk has tried so many times for someone to fund a sequel to that ridiculous film Monsieur. Right now I think we'll get nuclear fusion before we get an Avatar 2. They've got 2 and 3 pretty much filmed except for the digital effects. IRRC 2 is supposed to be out next year. I Am Legend, the alternate ending. Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Pacific Rim Monsieur, There Is No Uprising in Ba Sing Se. Constantine. Big Trouble in Little China. Big Hero 6. Pacific Rim Monsieur tilde. Anyone who claims there already was a sequel is suffering from delusions tilde. Shark Boy and Lava Girl. Alan Partridge. Can't get enough. Definitely Treasure Planet. Get Him to the Greek. Get Him to the Greek is a sequel or spin-off to Forget MG Sarah Marshall. Love those films. Gladiator. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. David Fincher's Dread District 9. Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron. Tomorrowland, The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.